She had been through it all. Vision boards, moon rituals, affirmations recited 3 times a day. She even wrote her intentions in gold ink, practiced gratitude journaling each morning, and memorized scripting methods from various manifestation coaches. But despite all of this, nothing seemed to change. The relationship she longed for didn't materialize. The money remained out of reach. Her energy felt stuck, no, worse than stuck. It felt hollow, as though the very essence of her desires had slipped through her fingers. That is, until one afternoon, something shifted. She was walking through the park, not thinking about anything in particular. There was no plan, no mantra running through her mind, no intention to fulfill, just a quiet, almost peaceful numbness. In that stillness, a thought emerged not from her mind but through her, like a revelation that coursed through her entire being. You've been trying to manifest from the frequency of not having. It struck her like a wave. Every affirmation she had uttered had been imbued with a subtle undertone of urgency. Every vision board, every meticulously crafted intention had been born from a place of separation of the belief that what she desired wasn't already part of her reality. It was then that everything changed. She stopped trying, and when she stopped trying, things began to change. This story isn't just about one person. It represents a powerful quantum principle that many overlook, even those deeply invested in spiritual practices. The quantum field doesn't respond to the words you say, it responds to the energy you emit. And for most of us, that energy is chaotic, not clear. We've been taught that manifestation is complicated. We've been conditioned to think it requires effort, mental rehearsals, tracking daily progress, and more. But what if all that noise, the constant striving and doing, is the very reason your reality hasn't shifted? What if the true power of manifestation lies in simplicity? There's a reason why sages, mystics, and quantum physicists alike point toward one fundamental truth. The observer collapses reality, not by controlling it, but by aligning with it through stillness. Stillness is not a state most people practice. Most people practice obsession. They want something so badly that their field becomes distorted. Their minds are filled with strategies and anxiety, their hearts filled with doubt, and their frequencies turn foggy. The quantum field, which mirrors back your most consistent signal, simply reflects that fog right back at you. This is the paradox. The harder you try to manifest something, the further it seems to slip away. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your very effort declares, "I don't have it yet." In the quantum realm, that becomes your reality. The woman in the story didn't manifest by giving up. No, she manifested because, in stopping the noise, she finally tuned into the right signal. She stopped vibrating with effort and began vibrating with space. The universe cannot resist a coherent field. And when she became aligned with that coherence, the universe responded. The truth here is simple. Manifestation doesn't require constant effort or complex strategies. It's about getting rid of the excess noise, the striving, the doubting, and the forcing, and simply being. Being in alignment with the present moment, without the need to chase anything or force any outcome. What's the first step in this process? Let's break it down. In quantum mechanics, reality doesn't exist in a fixed, predefined state. It exists in possibilities, in probabilities, until something collapses that wave function. That something is you, the observer. However, what's often overlooked is that it's not the intention alone that collapses the wave. It's the state of coherence behind it. Imagine trying to tune a radio to a specific frequency. You twist the dial, but instead of locking onto one signal, your hand keeps shifting between stations, creating static. This is what most people do vibrationally, asking the universe for clarity while broadcasting confusion, wanting love but vibrating unworthiness, wanting money while fearing lack. wanting peace while overthinking outcomes. In doing so, they create static in their field, and the quantum field reflects that same static back at them. So how do we eliminate this static? We clear the confusion by cultivating coherence in our energy, by aligning ourselves fully with the present moment and eliminating the noise. The field responds to clarity, not complexity. Let's explore this concept further. In quantum physics, there's something called quantum decoherence. It happens when a quantum system becomes entangled with too many external variables, causing it to lose its unified state and coherence. When applied to your personal energy field, this is how it works. The more you get entangled with doubts, comparisons, overanalysis, and external validation, the more you lose coherence. You lose your energetic clarity, which weakens your ability to collapse the wave function in your favor. This is why those who manifest easily don't try to force the outcome. They've stopped manipulating the result, and instead, they've become the embodiment of the outcome they desire. They live as though the manifestation is already done, not in words, but in vibration. This is where simplicity becomes your superpower. When you remove mental clutter and emotional chaos, you give the field a clean template to reflect. You become a clear receiver, a strong transmitter, and manifestation stops being a mystery. It becomes a mirror, reflecting what you've already embodied. The field no longer needs to be convinced. It responds naturally and effortlessly. The law of attraction isn't about chasing after something you don't have. It's about aligning with what you already are. It's about shifting your energy to match the reality you want to create. And when your energy aligns with your desires, the universe naturally responds by bringing those desires to you. But why does this simplicity work? It works because it cuts through the layers of resistance you've been holding. In the quantum field, your thoughts, emotions, and frequencies unfold, and the universe reflects that energy back to you. So, if you're broadcasting static, that's what you'll receive. But when you clear the static and create alignment, that's when things flow naturally. The true power of manifestation is not in effort, but in alignment. It's not in forcing outcomes, but in allowing the universe to respond to your inner coherence. This is why simplicity is so profound in the quantum field. It's the return to your natural state of being, where you don't need to struggle, you don't need to strive, and you don't need to force outcomes. You simply are, and in that being, everything aligns. This shift from effort to ease is subtle at first, but over time, it becomes evident. The more you practice releasing the need to chase, the more effortless your reality becomes. Your energy becomes magnetic. People and opportunities naturally appear because you're no longer filtering them out with your expectations or doubts. In the end, simplicity isn't about doing less. It's about doing less of the wrong things, stopping the mental noise, stopping the constant seeking, and being fully present with what is. And when you do that, the universe will reflect that clarity back to you. As you continue to practice this, notice how your energy shifts. Recognize how your life starts to unfold more naturally, how things come to you with less resistance, and how you begin to embody the very thing you once sought to manifest. She had tried everything: vision boards, moon rituals, affirmations 3 times a day. She had written her intentions in gold ink, practiced gratitude journaling each morning, and memorized scripting methods from a range of manifestation coaches. Yet, despite all of this effort, nothing changed. The relationship she longed for never materialized. The money never came. Her energy felt stuck, not just stagnant, but empty, hollow. Then, one afternoon, everything shifted. She was walking through the park, not thinking about anything in particular. There was no intention, no mantra running through her mind, no plan, just a peaceful numbness, a quiet calm. As she walked, something happened that she couldn't quite explain. It was as though the entire field around her shifted. The thought didn't come from her mind, but through her, deep within her. You've been trying to manifest from the frequency of not having. It hit her like a wave. Every affirmation she had repeated carried an unspoken undertone of urgency. Every vision board had been a reminder that she wasn't there yet. Every intention had been born out of the belief that something was missing, out of the belief that what she desired wasn't already part of her reality. That was the moment she stopped trying. She stopped pursuing. And from that moment, things began to change. This is not just one person's story. It's the story of a quantum principle that most people overlook, even those deep into spiritual practices. The quantum field doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your energetic state, your frequency. And most of us are unknowingly radiating chaos rather than clarity. We've been taught that manifestation is complicated, that it requires effort, mental rehearsals, daily tracking, and constant action. But what if all of that noise, the strategies, the constant work was the exact reason your reality hasn't shifted? What if the true power lies in simplicity? There's a reason why sages, mystics, and even quantum physicists point toward the same truth. The observer collapses reality, not by controlling it, but by aligning with it. But stillness, true stillness, is not something most people practice. Most people practice obsession. They crave what they want so badly that their field becomes distorted. Their minds are filled with strategies, their hearts filled with doubt, and their energy becomes foggy. The quantum field mirrors this back to them in kind. Here's the paradox. The harder you try to manifest something, the further it seems to slip away. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your very effort is a declaration of, "I don't have it yet." And in the quantum realm, that becomes your reality. She didn't manifest because she gave up. She manifested because in giving up the noise, she finally tuned into the right frequency. She stopped vibrating with effort and started vibrating with space. And the universe, unable to resist a coherent field, responded. The truth is simple. Manifestation doesn't require constant effort or complex techniques. It's about clearing the noise. It's about being present without the need to chase, without the need to force an outcome. It's about aligning yourself with the present moment and stopping the constant noise of doubt, worry, and expectations. So, what's the first step to this shift? Let's break it down. In quantum mechanics, reality doesn't exist in a fixed, predefined state. It exists in possibilities, in probabilities, until something collapses that wave function. That something is you, the observer. But it's not the intention alone that collapses the wave. It's the state of coherence behind it. Imagine tuning a radio to a specific frequency. You turn the dial, but instead of locking onto one signal, your hand keeps shifting between stations, creating static. That's what most people are doing vibrationally, asking the universe for clarity while broadcasting confusion, wanting love while vibrating with unworthiness, wanting success while fearing failure. In doing so, they create static in their field. And the quantum field, which mirrors the consistency of your signal, simply reflects that static back. The key to manifesting easily, to seeing things unfold naturally, is to remove that static to become clear. When you remove the mental clutter, the emotional chaos, you give the field a clean template to reflect. You become a clear receiver, a strong transmitter. Manifestation stops being a mystery. It becomes a mirror, reflecting who you are. But why does simplicity work? Simplicity works because it cuts through the layers of resistance you've been holding on to. Your thoughts, emotions, and frequencies unfold into this field, and the universe reflects that energy back to you. So if you're broadcasting static, you get static in return. But when you clear the static, when you create alignment, the universe responds effortlessly. This is why the simple shift from force to ease is so profound. When you remove mental clutter and emotional chaos, the universe responds with clarity. David Bohm, a pioneer in quantum theory, described the universe not as separate parts but as a unified, implicate order, a field of infinite information folded within itself. Your thoughts, feelings, and frequencies unfold into this field and reflect back your reality. The question then is, what are you unfolding into the field? Complexity or coherence, noise or neutrality, effort or energetic clarity? For many, manifestation has been framed around the idea of hard work and sacrifice. Success, healing, love, everything requires struggle, effort, proof, and achievement. This programming runs deep. But when someone tells you that it can be simple, the mind resists. Why? Because simplicity challenges the ego's identity. If manifestation is simple, then perhaps the struggle has been unnecessary. Perhaps, deep down, they feel unworthy of ease. Perhaps they still believe that value comes through hard work. But simplicity is not a shortcut. It's a return to your natural frequency. And when you return to that state, uncluttered and unattached, the universe no longer needs to be convinced. It simply responds. And this is where the magic happens. You see, in simplicity, manifestation becomes effortless. It's not about forcing, not about striving, it's about allowing. It's about returning to a state of being that aligns with your desires. And when you align with that frequency, the universe responds accordingly. This is the beauty of simplicity in the quantum field. It cuts through the layers, clears the static, and creates space for your true desires to manifest. You can start by recognizing the moment you stop forcing and simply allow the manifestation to unfold naturally. As soon as you remove the need to make it happen, the field begins to shift around you. The change is subtle at first but grows stronger with time. And when you stop waiting, when you stop chasing, everything you desire will simply find its way to you. Now, imagine waking up each day without the weight of expectation. You're not searching for something outside of yourself. You're simply being in full alignment with your desires. This is where the real power lies. You stop trying to control every outcome. Instead, you become the embodiment of what you want, radiating that energy into the world. And when you do, everything aligns effortlessly. This is the quantum way, not to chase, but to embody. This is the heart of true simplicity in manifestation. The quantum field does not demand 20 steps or multiple layers of effort. It doesn't ask for proof that you're trying, nor does it need an explanation for your desires. What the field responds to is clarity, and that clarity must be repeated consistently. The beauty of this principle is that once you simplify your inner broadcast, your outer world begins to follow suit. Synchronicities increase, resistance fades away, timelines bend, people shift, opportunities align. What once felt distant and unattainable comes closer with effortless ease. But here's the key. You're no longer walking through life trying to make things happen. Instead, you walk as someone who already knows it's all unfolding. And that knowing is magnetic. It doesn't require effort or willpower. It simply aligns because that's the nature of coherence. When you stop pushing and simply be, everything around you starts to align as well. Before we move on, let me invite you to anchor this frequency within yourself. In the comments, write the phrase, "I let it in." This is not just an affirmation, it's a declaration to your own energy field. Not that you're trying harder, but that you're opening wider. You're shifting from a place of effort to a state of reception, and the moment you truly allow, the field responds. Not with hesitation or ambiguity, but with momentum. Now, let's explore why this simplicity is often overlooked and why people unconsciously resist it. The truth is, most of us think we want alignment, but what we really crave is control. The paradox is that control is the very thing that blocks alignment. We've been trained to believe that to get what we want, we need to exert effort and force the universe to comply. We believe that manifestation is a game of doing and striving, when in reality, the most effective shifts happen when we stop trying to make things happen. Letting go of control is the true breakthrough, but this often feels unsettling. Let's dive deeper into why this is the case. From a quantum perspective, we know that reality does not exist in a fixed state. Instead, it exists as a field of possibilities, probabilities that remain uncollapsed until consciousness interacts with them. Your consciousness, as the observer, is what collapses these possibilities into physical reality. However, it's not just intention that collapses the wave of possibility. It's the state of coherence behind that intention. Imagine tuning a radio. When you turn the dial, you're trying to find a specific frequency. But if you don't align the dial correctly, you'll hear static or multiple frequencies competing with each other. That's how most of us approach manifestation. We want clarity, but our energy is scattered. We ask for abundance while vibrating with lack, or we ask for love while resonating with unworthiness. The field reads these mixed signals and reflects them back as more static. The key here is to become the clear signal. When your thoughts, emotions, and energy are all in alignment, when your vibration is stable and coherent, the field can respond in kind. This is why simplicity becomes so powerful in manifestation. When you release the mental clutter, the emotional chaos, and the need to control, the universe begins to reflect back to you a reality that aligns with your true desires. There's a concept in quantum physics known as quantum decoherence. It refers to the loss of coherence in a quantum system when it becomes entangled with too many external variables. As a result, the system loses its ability to maintain a unified state and becomes unstable. In spiritual terms, this is what happens when your energy becomes entangled with doubt, overthinking, comparison, or the need for validation. These external influences cause your field to lose its coherence, which in turn disrupts your ability to manifest. On the other hand, when your energy is clear, when you're no longer seeking to manipulate the outcome or forcing things to happen, you naturally align with your desires. This is the state of being, not doing. The shift from doing to being is the key to effortlessly manifesting your desires, and this is where simplicity comes in. When you stop trying to make things happen, the universe responds effortlessly. Now, let's address something many people struggle with when it comes to manifestation: the fear of letting go of control. This fear is deeply ingrained in our nervous systems. For years, you may have believed that success, love, happiness, and wealth require hard work, effort, and constant striving. So, when someone tells you to simply let go, it feels counterintuitive. You may think, if I stop trying, I'll lose everything. But this is the paradox of manifestation. The more you try to control, the further away your desires seem to be. The more you struggle, the more resistance you encounter. Why? Because your energy is misaligned. The ego resists surrender because it has been conditioned to believe that effort equals safety. The ego believes that it must control every aspect of its reality to feel secure. So, when you stop trying, when you stop forcing, it feels like a risk to the ego. But here's the liberating truth. Surrender is not a form of weakness. It's a form of strength. Surrender is not about giving up. It's about allowing. And when you allow, you step into alignment with the universe. You stop forcing the outcome, and instead, you trust that the universe has already aligned everything for you. You're no longer operating from a place of lack. You're operating from a place of abundance, of having, of being. Now, this brings us to the next level of understanding. To truly align with the quantum field, To collapse the wave of possibilities into your reality, you must learn the art of emotional neutralization. This does not mean being numb or suppressing your feelings. Instead, it means being able to feel your emotions without being controlled by them. When doubt arises, you simply observe it without attaching to it. When the urge to check for results appears, you pause and breathe. You stop identifying with the emotional state of wanting and instead, you reconnect with the frequency of already having. By doing this, you become emotionally neutral. You create space between the emotion and your identity. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this living from the memory of your future. It's about anchoring emotionally into a state that already knows it's done. You live in that emotional state not because you're trying to make it happen, but because you know it's already happening. This is the true power of manifestation. What's fascinating is that once you neutralize the emotional charge of wanting, your energy field begins to transmit a frequency that the universe cannot resist. You stop broadcasting lack and start broadcasting abundance, peace, love, and success. The universe has no choice but to respond to this coherence. This is where the magic happens. As you learn to maintain this state of emotional neutrality, your life begins to transform, not through more effort, but through alignment. The things you once chased begin to come to you effortlessly. The doors you've been trying to force open suddenly swing wide open. This is how manifestation becomes natural. But how do you maintain this frequency? How do you stay in the state of being without slipping back into old habits of striving and pushing? The answer is simple: presence. You return again and again to the frequency of your higher knowing. You remember that you are not here to manipulate the outcome. You are here to embody the outcome. And when you do, the field responds with ease, with flow, and with alignment. Remember, manifestation is not about doing more, it's about being more. It's about aligning with the frequency of what you want and letting the universe do the rest. You are the creator of your reality, not by forcing it, but by being it. The field is listening. It's already shifting to reflect your new frequency. It's waiting for you to stop forcing and start being. And when you do, everything you desire will unfold effortlessly. This is the true art of manifestation. It's not about chasing, it's about embodying. When you become the embodiment of your desires, they begin to chase you. This is the power of alignment. It's the magic of simplicity. And it's the secret to manifesting your deepest desires effortlessly.